stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part 2 of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
And welcome back, folks. There you go, Jeff. Your comment?
Well, it's the same old stuff, isn't it, Dave? They keep coming. It's like that tune. What's it called? They keep coming from Mars. That tune, you know what I mean? And they kept coming and coming and coming. And that's it. I mean, really truthfully, I think everybody's got to really get to grips with it, because there's all sorts of issues going to happen, and what's going to happen once the country's totally overrun, and then it descend into chaos, and then before you know it, you have got a civil unrest. Civil unrest is going to happen, isn't it? So, that is it. That's what happens when you just let it go. You try to stop it, but you should be doing a lot more. And I'll say that's to the French and to everybody, situated with the problem. It's all right doing this and doing that and still bringing them over, but they've still got places to live. And every time they're eating away at our public services, people are fighting hard enough to get a home. Young people in this country, the indigenous people in this country, and it's getting harder and harder for the young people. That's as a country, as a nation, they should think about. You can't give comfort to all the nations across the world. They've got to look after their own people. That is it. We are not the begging bowl, nor is the United States of the world. We've been enough of that for many years. It's time that they put their own acts together, and if they go under with it, too bad. Of course we will say, oh, that's sad. Well, it's too bad. But what you do, Dave, but there you go, that's just the way I look at it, Dave, but it's a hard one, because I don't think I'd like to be put in a position what I do, because I'll be very draconian with what I tend to think about stopping them coming. I mean, I think boats and things like that, but there again, that's just me. I'm not talking on behalf of the English Defence League, but my own personal thing is sink the boats. Stop them coming. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit extreme, Dave, but how else are you going to do it? Stop them from where they started from. Send them back. Where they come from, send them back. Put them on a big boat and send them back. That's it.
Yeah. Well, Jeff,
because they'll just keep coming and coming and coming, and before we know it, it's the poor country. We're only a little island, Dave. You look at it, really. We're just a little island, aren't we? Look at this country, Dave. This little island of ours, and look at the United States. You could sit this little island of ours in the United States, 30, 40, 50 times? But that's it. We can't take on everybody from across the world, can we? We've done our bit. You've done your bit, Dave. A lot of people have done their bit. But you can't do it for the world. Other countries, the main countries, have got to take responsibility for their own people. There you go, Dave. I think that sums it up, isn't it?
All right. Well, yeah, it does, Jeff. And I think it also points up the need for Brexit and for border control there, just as we need better border patrol or control in the United States. Now, of course, I'm not speaking on behalf of the EDL either, but, as far as me being the unpleasant blind guy, yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. I think that when these boats get to a red zone, a place close enough to the shores of the UK, they should be told, turn back or you'll be sunk. And as far as people who try to come in over land to the UK, they should just be sent right back. If they refuse to go back, they should be machine gunned at the border. And yes, I know that sounds extreme. No, it's not the EDL. It's me saying these things. And it's because Jeff's right. Okay, even a country as large as the United States, let alone the UK, cannot afford to give of its workers' produce more and more and more to people who come in unskilled and unwilling to assimilate and who are just going to be a burden on the system. The world I see, Jeff, the world as I see it, would be far, far better and stronger if these countries would work to create their own prosperity. You guys did it in the UK. You guys did it in the UK over 1,000 years ago. We did it in the United States, and of course it was a long process. We did it in the United States over the course of a couple of 100 years. It takes time, but it can.
Really brilliant.
It can be done.
Think of just a short time, the country was formed, and where you've come and leading the world is fantastic. You must be very proud, Dave, being an American. I know I would, to think of what you've achieved over that time. But, sorry, Dave, don't stop you in your track. I just want to say that.
Well, I am, Jeff, and the thing is, I appreciate it. And, I am very proud to be an American. And the thing is that there's not anything lacking in, say, Central and South America or Africa or the Middle East when it comes to raw materials, people willing to work, people that have intelligence, and people who have ingenuity. If they would just work within their own countries to make their own countries strong, not only would they not have to come to our countries, but in the end, you'd see an entire earth with people who have a great standard of living and who are trading with each other instead of making war with each other. It would just be a better world, Jeff, instead of the political class trying to use these welfare parasites to try and destroy the countries that have built up prosperity and have led the world. That's the way I look at it, Jeff. In a nutshell. And Brexit is a great way to start. So get it done. Now, Jeff.
Well, I agree with your whole statement that you just said there, Dave. Every word that you said, I was nodding my head with you, because that is the way to do things. It's logic, isn't it? It's logical. It's common sense. That is how things should be done. Apart from the machine gun in them, But what do we do? I mean, very strict borders now for at least maybe 3-4 years, something like that. Just stop it until we sort out what's what. I think that's what your president once said. We'll just stop them coming for a short while and then see how things go. But of course, the opposition, it's all wrong. Oh, you can't do that. Oh. You know what? When you're thinking about the security of your nation, your country, you've got to do these things, haven't you, Dave? I know if I was responsible, then I'd probably do the same. I'd say, no, we've got to stop it. And you know that you'd be under attack straight away, because it doesn't fall into the narrative of open borders like the left are trying to project their message. That's what they want. This is what they want, and we're in total opposition to them, and we always will be. That's it, The loony left, isn't it? That's it. You can't call it any. There's any politics involved with the left. I don't see politics at all in what they're doing. They're trying to create a total antisocial misfit situation. That's good, isn't it, Dave? Yeah, that works, doesn't it, Dave?
Well, they want chaos, Jeff, so that their rulers can take over, and they don't even realize what's going to happen when their rulers do take over. It's not going to be a pretty situation, and it's definitely not going to be a fun situation. And to that, Jeff, hangs our next story. And of course, guys, I review these stories with Jeff, and Jeff finds stories himself, and we talk about them. This next story, I know Jeff is Jeff's gonna want to have a bit of a rant on this one, and I might want to have one too.
What?
Yeah, well, yeah. I know it's hard to believe. But this next one, guys, comes from Breitbart. Okay, and when I talk about a world with no fun, check this out. This comes from Breitbart, and this was done on the 9th. Jeff, you ready for this one?
Yeah, before we do, can I just let you know that Mary's, she's joined us in the chat. And she's going, oh, Jeff, and hello, Ag. So just saying hello to Mary. I said hello to her. Yeah, you go,
is that Mary? Is that Mary Brockman in there?
Because it's Mary 13531.
Okay, well, if she says
Mary, it's so good to have you in the chat this evening. I'm enjoying the show.
Mary, thank you for coming, hon. I think that is Mary Brockman, and thank you very much for coming to the show. Yeah, she is a great friend of the Unpleasant Blind Guy, by the way, and a great friend of Ken McClinton's The Exceptional Conservative Show and the Exceptional Conservative Network. Great friend of the SHR Media. So terrific to have you here, Mary, and everybody. Please, come to the chat room for our show. Just go to blogtalkradio.com and search for English Defense League Radio at the top center in that white box, and eventually you'll have to sign in, of course, but eventually you can get into the chat room. Now, we're going to go to this next story. This here is...
we just got a 6-0 update. There was an own goal.
Mary, sorry about this. Mary is not a big sports fan, but Mary, Jeff is keeping half an eye on a football game, as they call it there. England is playing Montenegro, and England is up 6-0. Wow, that's anyway, guys. We're gonna hit this next story from
Bright. Dave.
Right.
Oh,
we're gonna hit
Mary
this next.
Just said, bye and God bless. That's what Mary's just said. Bye and God bless. Oh, God bless you too, Mary.
Yeah, God bless you, Mary. God bless you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it.
And we're going to get to this story now. This has to do again with the world that the left would have us be in. Okay, erasing the fun and controlling the fun themselves until there's no fun anymore. Here we go, guys. You're listening to the English Defense League Radio Show. Check this one out.
ITV BBC Netflix rival bans politically incorrect classic TV shows. By Victoria Friedman on November 9, 2019. BritBox, which claims to bring the best of British television on demand, has banned programs like Till Death Do Us Part and It Ain't Half Hot, Mum, because they may be offensive to today's audiences. The online service is a collaboration between British terrestrial networks the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, and Channel 5, and was launched on Thursday, costing the same as its Netflix rival at £5.99 a month. We've carefully selected a wide range of the very best in British programming which will appeal to viewers in 2019, an ITV spokesman said. Citing changing tastes, an executive from partner network ITV, Ria Misakan, said that certain programs would not be available because they have been deemed racist or otherwise offensive. We recompile everything that goes onto BritBox. And the great thing about on demand is that you're not forcing anyone to watch anything, Ms. Sakan said in comments reported by The Telegraph. Other programs that have just slipped through the net of political correctness will come with bespoke warnings about potentially offensive content. While not forcing anyone to watch anything, the service inhibits the freedom to watch what you want. Till Death Do Us Part ran on the BBC from 1965 to 1975 and centered on Alf Garnett, a bigoted character who writer Johnny Speight wrote to be laughed at, not sympathized with, and the relationship with his family, including his socialist, unemployed son-in-law played by Tony Booth, the real-life father of former Prime Minister Tony Blair's wife Cherie Booth. The show was the inspiration for Norman Lear's U.S. sitcom All in the Family. The 1970s Temps television program Love Thy Neighbor, about a West Indian couple moving next door to a white English couple, will likewise not be available on BritBox. Trinidad-born Nina Boden-Semper, who played female lead Barbie Reynolds, had won an award for Outstanding New Female in Programming in 1973. Fellow Trinidadian and co-star Rudolph Walker is now longtime cast member on the popular British BBC soap opera EastEnders. Reruns of It Ain't Half Hot, Mum, the spiritual sequel to Dad's Army which ran from 1974 to 1981, were already taken off British airwaves after claims the program was racist and homophobic. Even without the censorship, the collection is incomplete as many beloved classic shows are licensed with rival networks. For that reason, BritBox cannot air programs like Monty Python's Flying Circus, Alan Partridge, Steptoe and Son, which was remade in the United States as Sanford and Son, and Dad's Army. Cleansed of politically incorrect programs, others that have made the cut on BritBox, like Faulty Towers, Absolutely Fabulous, and Only Fools and Horses, may as yet find themselves at threat of being cancelled thanks to current year's shifting cultural sensitivities. One example arises with the recent screening of Friends, the American 90s sitcom that was progressive for its time, for showcasing gay couples, discussing gender politics, and countering traditional life goals by having most of the characters remain childless, single, and still renting shared apartments until they were in their late 20s/early 30s, fell foul of contemporary sensibilities when screened on Netflix in 2018. Some viewers had called the show homophobic, sexist, fatphobic, transphobic, and criticized it for lacking racial diversity. Despite complaints on social media, the service renewed the program's license for another year. The objections from a minority appeared not to have affected the program's viewing numbers, with an Ofcom report released in August revealing that Friends is the most popular show on streaming services in the UK. Analysts do not expect BritBox to become a serious rival to Netflix or Amazon Prime, according to The Times.
Hey, there you go, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, Jeff. I know you want a bit of it, so jump right on in.
I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? This politically correct garbage is trying to ruin people's entertainment. People are intelligent enough to know that at a certain time people say certain things. Why should they try to ban that from what was said back then? I mean, the times have changed, people change, and people should be respected to watch whatever they want and not be dictated to by the so-called BritBox political correct establishment. Because that's where it's you're ruining people's viewing. All those that they said, I love them all, so I must be a hater. I must be, all that they said about it because it was good entertainment. And myself and Dave, we like good entertainment. We had the right laugh at some of the things that we play, and they might be culturally, for some people, it might make them a bit, they might want to get their crowns out and need a safe place. Well, get real, live in the real world, because that's how we normally talk. And you're trying to take away that from people, the joy and the humour that we've got. But you won't ever do it, because people like me and Dave, we'll always talk about things like that. You can't get in our brains and change the way we think about things. So jog on, do one, and let us get on with our own entertainment like we have done for many years. So that's all I want to say about it, Dave. And BritBox, whatever you call yourselves, jog on, do one.
Well, yeah, I agree, Jeff. I mean, of course, it's not. I love what they get. Well, we're not forcing everybody to watch anything. No, you're just taking away choices on purpose. It's not a contract thing, of course, they can't show Monty Python because it's It's contracted with somebody else, and that's just impossible for them to get hold of right now. That's a legitimate reason not to be able to show it, okay? But to say, oh, well, we can't show Till Death Do Us Part, which, as I said, was translated in the American to All of the Family, which is just a pee your pants funny show over here in the United States. All right, for them not to show those things on purpose, all right, it just shows that they're mired in political correctness, and it also raises the question, well, why have this quote unquote on demand service? Well, what if someone demands to see Love Thy Neighbor? Suppose they thought that was funny. Okay, maybe like 80% of every other customer decides it's not funny, and they don't want to see it. But you know what? The only thing that it's costed BritBox to store, let's say Love Thy Neighbor, just as an example, all right, is minimal. Okay, the other 80% aren't being forced to watch Love Thy Neighbor, but that 20% that might want to look at it won't get an opportunity because it's not there, because they've decided through their fascistic political correctness garbage that people can't see it. I'm gravitated to something that Mark Twain is said to have quoted about censorship. He said, he can equate censorship with someone banning steak because a baby can't chew it. Okay, that's basically it. Yeah, exactly. The people can handle it, and you know how we handle it? We handle it because we get together with other people. We understand that other people are just people, regardless of what the outside looks like or whatever. It may shock some people to know when I worked at the Fort Worth Lighthouse for the Blind. Okay, we had racial humor amongst ourselves there, right? We used to tell jokes and stuff about each other's races, and we didn't care. Okay, because we worked together, we were all friends, and the Lighthouse was not in the most posh neighborhood in Fort Worth, Texas. It was in a pretty sketchy neighborhood. If anybody had tried to do anything, untoward, let's say, to any of us, we would have all been all over them. Skin color didn't matter, okay, because we were friends, we worked together, and in our way, as friends, we loved each other, and that's the way it ought to be, okay? You can't legislate acceptance, but when you get it, it's a beautiful thing. And doing fascistic things like this isn't going to force people to accept anybody. It's just going to make them resentful, and it's going to make them look somewhere else for those shows that they want to see. Am I right, Jeff?
No, you're right, Dave. I mean, that's it. I would say anybody out there, that BritBox, what it's called, stay away from it. I'll tell you what, if you want to watch all the programs that they said, right, just check it out. You'll come across them all. You'll be able to get the box sets. You'll be able to see it on other services. I can't say too much, but it's out there. If you want to see all the Monty Pythons, and of course Love Thy Neighbour, even though they've tried to ban it, this, that and the other, you'll be able to see it. Don't worry, where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. So that's all I say. There's always been a way that you can watch your viewing. Mm-hmm. So that's it.
Jeff,
just be a bit savvy, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch something like that, which might be a little bit sensitive to the lovies out there and the sensitivities, but you know what? It's just getting too silly. I really do. You lose patience with this triviality, don't you, Dave? It's not just trivial. They make a big case out of it, you know. And of course, it spoils people like yourselves viewing, Dave. You'd like to see the BritBox or something or other with all the shows that you want to see. Not, they think, oh, Dave might not like that because it might be politically correct. No, we can't. But Dave can make his own mind up. about what he wants to watch. Am I right, Dave?
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit curious about Till Death Do Us Part because, like I said, All in the Family. Let's see. Oh my God, man, that thing ran in the States for over 10 years, and then they made a spin-off of that, Archie Bunker's Place. I wouldn't mind seeing the show that inspired it over in the UK. I wouldn't mind seeing Till Death Do Us Part. Trust me, guys. I grew up.
It was a little bit. I suppose at the time it was a bit risque at the time even, but now you know they were class it as a hate thing. You know, I mean it wasn't. It was humour. That's all it was. Oh God, it basically was a bigot. He didn't like people, and his family despised him, not liking people. And there was a moral behind the stories. Do you know what I mean, Dave? It was not as if they were getting away with anything, because they wasn't. There was a whole moral thing.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Family was in total opposition to. So what? That is what people are like. My goodness me.
Yeah.
Well,
they changed, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, it was the same with Archie Bunker over here in the United States. When All in the Family first started, he was a straight up bigot. His wife was just, as you guys, I think in the UK would put it, just a lovely person that took people as you found them. Again, regardless of skin color or any of that other stuff. He had a son-in-law the guy from Till Death Do Us Part had a son-in-law that was unemployed. Archie had a son-in-law that was a college student, and of course, there was all sorts of social issues being perpetrated out there at that time by the colleges in the United States then as now. It was the same thing, but it was funny, and yes, it taught us a thing or two about bigots and about tolerance and things like that. And trust me, guys, I know a bigot when I see it. I grew up in Texas in the 1960s and 70s. Don't tell me that I don't know what a bigot is, or talk to me about dog whistles or any of that kind of stuff. I've seen real racism. I've seen how ugly it is, and I've seen how beautiful it is when you overcome it. Now, Jeff, brother, it is a little past time for you to call back in. If you'd like to do that, go ahead and
I was just thinking of that, Dave. I just clocked the time. I'll let you go, carry on, Dave, and I'll be back in a shake of an axe tail. Okay.
All right. Yeah, all right. Okay, we're going to get that ant up on the thing, and until then, we're going to run the SHR Media promos, guys, while Jeff calls back in. Now, the English Defense League radio show is associated with the SHR Media Network. The SHR Media has a bunch of great shows in the United States and a lot of great hosts and everything. You're going to get to hear about those. Now, if you want to listen to this program, again, in little 30-minute bites that, may take a little bit less time out of your day, they get repeated at the Unpleasant Blind Guy page at Spreaker.com. And my regular show times are 1 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Time in the United States, and that's 6 p.m. in the UK Monday through Friday, and at midnight on Saturday Eastern in the United States, and 5 a.m. in the UK on Saturday. All right? And again, you'll get to hear these programs in little 30-ish minute bites and things like that. It'll be a little bit easier to handle, and sometimes I run regular Unpleasant Blind Guy shows, but hey, check that out. That's at the Unpleasant Blind Guy page at Spreaker.com, and I can also be heard on the Western Free Radio Network and the SHR Media YouTube page. Meanwhile, please check this out. This is about 3.5 minutes here. You're listening to the English Defense League radio show. Here we go.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on SHRmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunnett. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunnett.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad. Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And that is it for this time. Next time, Part 2, Part 3. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye.
The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini.